Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Gridiron Glory here with Will and Tad. Today, we're going to talk about the Chicago Bears and the Detroit Lions, their Week 2 matchup, with the Lions coming away with a dominant 52-21 victory, a big bounce back win for the Lions. I think it's very important to note that their offensive line had a big bounce back game after struggling Week 1. They keep Jared Goff clean, no sacks. Allowed Goff to do his thing, 23 or 28, 334, five touchdowns, just a very dominant performance against an overmatched Chicago team in this one. A lot of big numbers for the Lions, as you'd expect, given the scoreline. Amon-Ra had a big game, 9 for 115, three touchdowns, a very high level receiver. Where would you rank Amon-Ra St. Brown in the NFL among receivers?
Yeah, Amon-Ra St. Brown to me, looking at Amon-Ra, the nine catches for 155 yards, or I'm sorry, 100, it felt like that, 115 yards, three touchdowns. Yeah, Amon-Ra St. Brown to me is just like, so you got Jamar, you got Justin, to be honest, you could start arguing cases amongst like him, CD, um, Puka. Guys like that, you could start arguing cases like he's right up there in those likes, like right up there in those likes.
Yeah, certainly. A very incredible receiver. What was your take on Jamison Williams and his performance in this game?
Yeah, Jamison Williams. I mean, absolutely insane. I mean, two catches, 108 yards for a touchdown. Obviously, Jamison Williams, two big plays that just put Detroit right where they needed to be. I mean, Detroit was keeping their foot on the gas, and they were just like, "Hey, Jamison, while we already have our foot on the gas, just keep it going for us." And he did exactly that on those two big explosive plays that he had, and one of them being a touchdown tag. Yeah, Jamison Williams, always fun to watch. The speedster, you never know what he's going to do next. Probably one of the most just, I mean, he kind of just comes out of nowhere. He kind of always just comes out of nowhere, but when he does show out, it's something always freaking awesome.
Absolutely, an incredible speedster there, big deep threat. Love to see him healthy again and doing what he can do. Also of note, one last brief note on the wide receiver room. Incredible catch before halftime by Isaac Tesla, the rookie out of Archie. One catch for 29 yards, but it was a big play, and I think they need to keep getting this man on the field. I said it last week. I'm saying it again this week. He's one of the most talented receivers on the team, and I think given an opportunity, he can be a high level player even early in his career.
I mean, yeah, Isaac T-Slaw, man, just an incredible talent. Uh, the stat charts, you won't think that by the stat chart, but if you're actually watching these games of football, Lions fans are just so excited to have Isaac T-Slaw around. And me as an NFL fan, I live and breathe each day to maybe just see Isaac T-Slaw do something awesome.
Yes, Detroit, they were also dominant in the run game. No surprise there with their offensive line doing what they do. Gibbs had 12 for 94 and a touchdown, long of 42. Montgomery 11 for 57, also a touchdown there. So, I mean, just complete domination by Detroit on offense. Just they played the game they need to play to win. Very strong.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, this running back room always going to do what they need to do to work together. It doesn't matter who needs to take the carries, who needs to take what load. They're going to do it. They're going to work together, and that's why they're a good football team.
That is why they're a good football team. They also had a fairly solid defensive effort, especially after halftime. Jack Campbell had a big fumble recovery. Kirby Joseph had a big interception. So just forcing the turnovers, making plays. I thought their defense had a bounce back game as well.
Yeah. This was exactly the momentum shifter that the Lions needed after having a rough start in week one. So yeah, very, very, very incredible for them to do that against their division rivals here today.
Yeah, a win Detroit absolutely needed. And now I mean, looking at Chicago, a very difficult loss, 0-2, two division losses. You definitely don't like to see that. Just a lot of things you need to look at, a lot of things need to improve, especially on defense. Just a big struggle there. But looking a bit more on the offense, Caleb was 19 of 30, 207, 2 touchdowns, and interception, sacked 4 times, also 5 rushes for 27 yards. What was your take on the Chicago second-year quarterback?
Yeah, Caleb Williams. I mean, he in the first half, obviously in the first quarter, even, you thought Caleb Williams was doing what he needed to do to keep this Chicago team in the game. I mean, then obviously you hate to see the one interception. His offensive line, Tad. This is a very low-rated Bears offensive line in the league, so that didn't help with the 4 sacks that was thrown his way either. But I was impressed with Caleb Williams' mobility a little bit in this game. Yeah, the yeah 5 carries. He had 5 carries for 27 yards. He even had a 10-yard long rushing play. So that's a positive to take away from this. I kind of liked what I was able to see with Caleb Williams getting more comfortable out of the pocket.
Yeah, he was making some plays there. Another big positive for the Chicago offense, and I think this was probably the highlight player on the game for the Bears. What they got out of second-year wide receiver Rome Odunze, 7 catches, 128 yards, 2 touchdowns. It looks like he's finally hitting his stride. He's activating himself as a potential wide receiver one for Chicago. I mean, he's had more productivity this year early on than DJ Moore. So just, I mean, to have another weapon in the receiving game, that would be big for Caleb Williams and the Bears offense if that can continue moving forward.
Yeah, absolutely. Just absolutely incredible what we have been able to see out of Rome Odunze, especially for fantasy owners as well. Like myself, who own him in fantasy, he definitely got me lots of points here. So I did end up losing the match, unfortunately, a part of that, but still, nonetheless, Rome Odunze gave me a beautiful, what I thought was hope in this fantasy matchup. So from a fantasy perspective, he's incredible. From a on the Chicago Bears, score on this draft pick, Tad, score.
Yeah, so very well placed draft pick and just you need to have pieces that can give you hope moving into the future. And I think he's one of the young players that they drafted well. So a very good performance there by Odunze.
Oh, absolutely. An incredible performance by Doomsday. This loss is not on him.
No, definitely not on him. Like you said, more so on the defense. Just a big struggle for the Chicago defense in this football game against an angry Detroit team. One more player to note for the Bears. Torrey Taylor, he did have a 62-yard punt, 4 punts for 212 yards, one in the 20, and that long of 62. So when there's not a lot of highlights elsewhere, that's somewhere you got to look. So a big performance
I
there by
mean,
Torrey Taylor.
I mean, our local fans that follow us will certainly appreciate Tory Taylor, the second year punter out of the University of Iowa. So you love to see. I'm sure some of our local subscribers here to our channel love to see some Tory Taylor, maybe even on this very podcast, a host of. Love to see some Tory Taylor doing what he does.
So yeah, definitely a dominating win for Detroit. Next week they'll be in Baltimore for Monday Night Football. That should be very exciting. And the Chicago Bears will host the Dallas Cowboys. So that's what they have to look forward to moving forward. Thank you all for watching. This is the Gridiron Glory with Will and Tad. Please like, subscribe, and follow for more insight. Thank you all.